This is the iPod Touch 5th generation take apart repair guide. The first step will be use a heat gun or a hairdryer to begin warming the outside edges of the front display. This will soften the adhesive, allowing us to lift the outer display up easier. Once the adhesive has been warmed, we're going to use a safe open pry tool, begin at the bottom of the device, and begin lifting the screen away from the back cover. Take note that there are two sections to the screen assembly, the screens, as well as the mid-frame. When you're prying out the bottom, don't worry which one you're prying out. You'll be able to get to each one at a separate time. Once the lower adhesive is released, we can then use the safe open pry tool to begin releasing the clips holding the mid-frame in place. Take note that some of these clips are fairly stubborn. Just be sure to take your time and work slowly around the clips as to not damage or break the mid-frame. Once the final clip is released, we can then flip the screen assembly out, being careful that it's still attached by two flex cables. We will now have 12 small Phillips screws that will need to be removed as shown in the video. With all the screws removed, we can now use the safe open pry tool to release the home button flex cable, which is attached with adhesive to the heat shield. Once that has been released, we can then use the pry tool to gently lift the shield away from the rest of the device. With the motherboard now exposed, we have 3 more small Phillips screws which will need to be removed. We're now going to use our safe open pry tool to release the front camera, the LCD flex cable, the rear camera, and the battery. We can now swing the screen assembly back towards the device, exposing the back side of the motherboard. Be careful as it is still connected by 2 flex cables. We will now just need to release the touchscreen flex cable and the LCD screen flex cable. Once both of these connectors are released, we can now remove the screen assembly from the rest of the device. To remove the midframe from the upper part of the screens, we'll need to use a heat gun again to warm that adhesive. Once that adhesive has been warmed, we're just going to use a safe open pry tool to gently release the rest of the adhesive, holding it onto the screen. With all the adhesive released from the midframe, we can now remove the midframe and replace the screen assembly.